Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, Five of Cups. We're trying not to identify with every wave of emotion that comes our way. Okay? The Five of Cups is usually a card that's called disappointment. That there is some unpleasant experience. We're feeling something unpleasant in this moment. Now, we can hold on to this, and we can go further down the Cups cards, and do the Eight of Cups maybe, or go the other way, and we could do, try to get back to the source of the feeling, and try to eradicate whatever caused this, right? Or we could just let it go. We could say, I'm feeling something that is unpleasant right now, but I know that in any moment, a new wave of emotion is going to wash over me. And I'll try not to identify with that one either. Okay? I think especially around this time of year, it seems like a lot of us have something to be disappointed about, which it seems sort of counterintuitive. It seems like this should be the season of joy, of celebration, of family, of togetherness, of love, of everything being just perfect, right? It's usually not. It's usually when we get disappointed in family members, we get disappointed in, and maybe it's because we have these expectations of these great events. Oh, I'm going to go see my family. It's going to be a great time. No, something always kind of happens, right? I think you're somebody that doesn't not set yourself up for those kinds of disappointments. You kind of know what to expect when you're going into a situation. You kind of think, well, this could be really, really good, but there'll probably be some elements about it that I don't like. If we focus on what is wrong with it, if we identify with the negative emotion, with that affect, right, that we're affected by something that happens, something that other people do, it's a violation of our own magical circle. Okay? So let's put this card into a little bit of context, because I feel like you're feeling a certain way about certain things, but you're trying to just let it go and not be consumed by that disappointment or that sadness or that negative emotion, that negative affect, right? So let's see what's going on with this card. There's that Ace of Cups. That's the Seven of Pentacles. This is what we are disappointed about, more than likely, right? We've got a Six of Wands. We've got a Hermit. We've got a Four of Cups. Okay. So the Five of Cups, you subtract one, all right, and you get the stability, right? So this might even really be kind of contrary to what I was saying. How do we go back to do we cling to the emotion and we just sink into it, right? And then we get like a Seven, we get the Eight of Cups, and it's just nasty, right? Or do we go back to the Ace and we try to find out what was the cause of this disappointment? Was this because something didn't go my way? Was this because, something that I was working on didn't succeed? I built this machine, but then it wouldn't turn on, and I'm kind of disappointed about that, and that's why I feel this way. So can we go back to the source? What is it that happened in your life that, and I think in this moment, in real time, okay, I'm feeling this disappointment, or I'm feeling this sadness, I'm feeling this unpleasant feeling. Why? What happened? And I think it really has to do with your Six and your Seven. Fire to earth. Some effort that you put into something, it didn't quite work out yet, and we felt this disappointment about it. Okay? It doesn't mean that it was a failure. even though that's the Seven of Pentacles, is a card, it's called failure. I like to look at the Seven of Pentacles as the little f failures. Those small failures that, it doesn't mean that I'm a failure, it doesn't mean that this whole project has gone bust, right? No, it means that I got to the very edge of what was possible, and I realized the limit there. I went as close to the edge of the universe as I could, and I felt the edge. And now I know where I need to go back to tomorrow and keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, right? So we realize that, okay, that's why I feel this. And anytime that we attempt to do something and we reach that point of failure, we're going to feel a disappointment. We're going to feel a kind of a blow. We're going to feel a sadness or a sorrow or something like this, right? But we have to identify that that's actually a very good feeling. That's a positive feeling. Because then we know exactly where to go back tomorrow and keep working. Now we know, okay, that's where my work is. I found the place that challenges me. I found the place that yesterday it kicked my butt. Today I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again. Right? I think that's extraordinary. We have it there. Now look, now we got a 10 of Cups. Now we've got the Chariot. Now we've got the universe itself, and we've got the Fool. This is, wow. Wow. This is a huge payoff. I think your luck is really changing here. We know it's not luck, right? We know that it is tenacity. We know it's you continuing to have confidence in yourself and go toward that area of weakness. Go toward that place that kicked your butt yesterday. And do it again. And keep doing it and keep going back. Of course, we are trying to grow and evolve and learn and adapt so that we can overcome it. Right? Because without that, then we keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Well, that's not going to work either, right? But going up against the same obstacle, expecting a different result because I learned something from yesterday. I fell down yesterday, so now that I've stood up again and I'm back here again today, I've learned something from yesterday. Okay, and that's where the Hermit comes into play. All right. The Hermit up here has learned from yesterday. We learned what worked yesterday, or what didn't work yesterday, and we're taking all of that information and we're confronting the obstacles that are before us. Now, the central energy for you is this water energy. It's basically Spirit's way of saying, look, don't be too upset about what is going on today. Okay, try to stabilize that feeling and realize that this is a necessary part of the path because you're pushing boundaries here. You are right up at the edge of the universe, and you're pushing that universe. You've got the Fool and the universe, the Alpha and the Omega. This is something cosmic in scope for you. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown, and we're going to set it down right here with Clark W. Griswold III, a.k.a. Sparky, right there on top. By the way, happy holidays to everybody that's watching. If you have a prediction for the mystery card, please put it in the comments down below. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. We do have major, 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 major. We have a little bit of fire. We definitely have our water energy. We don't have any air. We have our earth. Okay. It really does seem like we're succeeding, we're succeeding, we're succeeding. Okay. And then there's a disappointment. We're so used to winning, right? That something goes wrong and we feel a certain way about it. But we realize that this is the place where we need to be. If everything is always easy, then there is no challenge, there's no growth. Okay? And of course, I don't believe that everything in your life has been easy, 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 easy. What I'm saying with the Six of Wands, or what Spirit is saying, is that you know what it means to overcome a challenge. First, there must be a challenge if we're going to overcome it, right? And so having this win, having this victory over something, right, means that first you have encountered the struggle. And I think that you're maybe encountering another struggle like this now. That currently there's something that you're trying to do that you're finding it difficult to do. You try and it doesn't work. Okay. Whether it's learning something or something at work or something with friends or family, something in your spiritual life, or something you're trying to create, something you're trying to paint, or I don't know what it is. You're trying to make a music or something like this, right? There's just something that's lacking. It doesn't look the way you want it to look. Okay? It's not manifesting in the way that you intend. And naturally, it's going to make us feel a certain way. Okay? But what Spirit is saying is that we have to fortify ourselves against this. Because this 5 of Cups, what is it going to do? Again, is it going to devolve into a 7 and 8 of Cups where we kind of quit, we kind of give up, we just say, I don't even want to do this anymore, I don't even care about whatever this is? Or do we sort of go back to the beginning and think, you know, if I'm feeling disappointed or upset or sad about something, then I know I'm onto something. And now I need to go and look at where that is and why that is. Why do I feel a certain way about this thing? Maybe it's not a project. Maybe somebody says something to us, and it makes us feel a certain way. Now, I can either hang on to that, 7, 8 of Cups, or I can go back to the origin and think, okay, why did that event out in the world, why did that affect me? How did that get into my magical circle and make me feel something, right? Everyone says, oh, you know, you're making me feel this way, or don't make me feel bad, or, you know, how is it that other people make us feel something? And that's where we got to go back to the origin, the seed of this thing. It's not that somebody else makes us feel a certain way. It's not that any event out there makes us feel something, but it corresponds with something. It touches a sore spot. It touches a little knot of karma. It touches a weak point in our armor, and it makes us feel. And yeah, see, there we go again. It's part of our language now, right? It's the vernacular. We end up feeling something. We have a feeling response to an event out in the world. And taking the Ace of Cups here is trying to find out, okay, why? Why was I affected by what they said or what happened or what didn't happen, right? And that's the 7 of Pentacles. This is what happened or what didn't happen. Okay, this is kind of... with the 5 of Cups, this is like something should be there, but it isn't. And I feel a certain way about that, right? Maybe somebody disappointed you. Maybe there was a relationship that didn't quite work out. Maybe, maybe there was an event that we thought was going to be great, but it just wasn't fun, right? It was just, where was the holiday spirit, right? Where was the love? It just wasn't there, you know? So we're trying to get to the origin of that feeling. Why do I feel that way about what happened? Well, maybe this is just because, you're looking at this as a challenge that, you're trying to overcome. Maybe this is something to do with your work or your creativity or some progress that you're trying to make. Okay? But the Hermit up here is trying to learn from all of this. The Hermit is looking at this looking at this situation sort of retrospectively. Maybe it just happened today or yesterday or a week ago. We're looking at it and we're thinking, okay, that's the way I felt. What is it? What was the event that happened? What was the trigger, basically? What was that point event in time and space that then led to me feeling this way, that evoked that emotion, right, from me? And maybe it was a certain word. Maybe it was a certain person that did something. Maybe it was, maybe you fell off your bicycle or something, right? Maybe there's been a slight delay in your plans. Maybe there was a business deal or a sale, or maybe we had a day where we didn't really, we don't feel we were successful. Okay? Well, we need to look at that and we need to understand, okay, where is that coming from? Why did that affect me that way? And I think that allows us to fortify ourselves, and to return to the battlefield and try again. Right? Because we have two choices there with that Five of Cups. It can go either way. It can go, to the 7 and the 8, and we can hang on to it, and we can feel it, and we can get, depressed and weighed down by it. Or we can go to the Ace, and we can find out why we feel the way we feel. And I think that sort of sparks the 10, the hope, the wish, the dream in us that this can be overcome, that I can have this kind of success and this kind of satisfaction in life, that I can achieve this. And then we stop identifying the work with our worth. Right? That just because this is something, let's say this was a failure, just because this was a little failure doesn't mean I'm a big failure. Right? You're right up against the edge of something, and of course there's going to be challenges. If there are no challenges, if you don't ever fall down, if you don't ever fail to succeed at something, then you're not really pushing yourself very, very hard. If what you're doing is easy, there's no growth there. Okay? There's no growth there. Now, in the past position, the 6 of Wands there, I feel like this might have something to do with a team effort or a group of people. And maybe it's a work thing, maybe it's friends or something, maybe it's a family gathering, but I feel like there are other people involved, and maybe we had an expectation that there was going to be some sort of harmony there, but it sort of fell into a little bit of discord and friction, and maybe there was bickering, and maybe there was just a lack of harmony, right? And because of that, we feel a certain way. Yeah. But until we stabilize ourselves with this 4 of Cups, the 4 of Cups is kind of the acceptance that, there's ups and downs, and this is a sort of a baseline. Okay? If this is a diminishing of a pleasant feeling, okay, this is the baseline, and we don't want our emotional state to sink too far below this. Okay, so we're trying to stabilize ourselves, and we're trying to just accept that, sometimes I'm just not going to feel good. Sometimes this is a natural mood, a 5 of Cups, right? Maybe maybe we're a little bit under the weather. Maybe there's been an injury or an illness. Maybe this is, literally something has happened in life, and it's natural for us to feel a little bit sorrowful, a little bit sad or disappointed about it. But if we don't keep the dream alive and keep aspiring forward, if we don't find a way to stabilize that, then we're never going to get out of this. Okay, then the Hermit really becomes a card of isolation, a card of retreat, a card of giving up. Okay, a card of disengaging from the world. So ultimately, what we see on the path of the dove is how we're dealing with disappointment. How we're dealing with an obstacle in way of our dreams. Something is getting in the way of us fulfilling that 10 of Cups that we've got over here. Because you do have a dream. You do. And I feel that it is going to manifest. We see all these major arcana energies over here, and that this 10 of Cups is present within you. Okay, this is kind of the picture of your best life, your happiest life, your dream come true. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. It does support the channel, and I appreciate that. So now, the good stuff, the 10 of Cups, right? You've got this image within you of what your happy life would look like, what your full and satisfied life would look like. Are there any bad days in here? Well, of course. Okay. The 10 includes everything. It includes all of the cups. There's a 5 of Cups in here. There's a 7 and 8 of Cups in here too. There's an Ace, a 2, a 3, a 4, right? A 9 even. There is every experience, every emotional, the entire spectrum of our emotions, the entire range of emotions is in here. We're living a full life, not just one that's we're seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. That's not a full and satisfied life, right? So if you're seeking pleasure and you're avoiding pain, well, that means that you're never doing anything that's going to challenge yourself. You are limiting yourself from your full potential, right? Because I don't want to experience any pain or sorrow or dissatisfaction or sadness. I don't want to experience anything unpleasant. So I'm just going to do everything that's safe and easy and I know is going to give me the immediate reward, right? I'm never going to push myself to my limit. I'm not even going to get close to the edge of my universe. I'm not going to ever get close to my limit because I just want to feel good all the time. Because feeling bad, well, sometimes we can get stuck in that. And the 7 and 8 of cups, those are not nice. We don't want those, right? But we know that it's all a part of this life that we live. And if we want the full life, if we want to feel that we are satisfying our soul and our spirit and our need to find meaning and expression in life and a sense of purpose, we're going to have to confront a lot of this darkness, a lot of these challenges, a lot of, we're going to fall down a lot. And every time we fall down, we have to get up and our hermit has to kick in and think, okay, what did I do wrong that time? How can I do better? What do I need to change? What do I need to learn? How do I need to adapt? You know, it's like my daughter, she's 4, she's in jiu-jitsu. And she doesn't like it when the other, her teammates, you know, gently throw her down, you know. She doesn't like getting knocked down, you know. And she gets upset sometimes when she loses a match or she ends up on her back, you know. And we tell her, you know, that's part of learning. Anybody in, like the other day, oh gosh, it broke my heart. She bumped her nose on the mat in jiu-jitsu and she was crying and she was upset. She was fine. It wasn't bleeding or anything, but it was scary. And the nose, obviously, very sensitive. You know, in an attempt to sort of make her feel better, I guess, I told her, you know what, everybody in this room has bumped their nose probably many more times than just once. Okay? So, you know, you're not alone. Everybody has gone through this. It's a part of learning because then what happened was she didn't do her break fall, right? She didn't put her arms out and keep her head back and brace herself, right? And it's because there was another kid on top of her and it just, you know. But if she's stuck in that feeling and she gave up, she wanted to quit. Right? She wanted to quit. She wanted to give up. She wanted to just say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to get bumped in the nose, you know. But ultimately, she does want to be in that class. She loves her teammates. She has fun. She's learning a lot of things. She loves showing off her skills. Like she really does want to do it. But when you're in that moment of pain, right, when you're in that 5 of cups, you don't want to do it. You want to quit. The hermit wants to just take the ball and go home. But by me saying, look, everybody here, including dad and mom, everybody, we've bumped our nose a lot. And it sucks. And we don't want that to happen. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But you don't need to quit over it. What we can do is we can sit here and we can rest and we can calm down and we can watch the other students continue, and then you can get back on the mat and you can keep going, you know. Sometimes it really is just that empathy that helps even us as adults when we're going through some sort of a painful disappointment or painful event, just to know that there are other people out there that have felt that before and that are currently feeling that is enough to get us to re-engage with life. To know that we are not alone, to realize that I'm not the only one suffering in this way right now. And sometimes this suffering is teaching me a lesson. I need to put my hands out when I fall and keep my head back, you know, so I don't bump my nose. So I think that's a big part of it too, is to not go into this shell, to not isolate ourselves when something isn't going right, when we're in some sort of feeling, right? And that's part of our chariot card too, because the chariot is saying, okay, now I've learned the skills, okay, so that whatever the challenge was yesterday, I've learned from that, so that I think I'll be okay there. Today's going to have some new challenges, and I'm going to have to learn those lessons, right? Every day is a new challenge and a new lesson. If we isolate ourselves with the hermit energy, then we're going to feel as if I'm the only one doing this. No one's ever done it before. I'm all alone, and we're going to have a difficult time continuing. Okay. So we're going to be more likely to re-engage and try again. And you see this in kids all the time, right? If some kid gets hurt and they got a scratch on their elbow or they've scraped their knee, guess what? All the other kids on the playground run over and say, oh, look at my scrape I got yesterday. Look at the cut I have on my arm. Look at my knee from when I fell off my bike. And the current kid, they're just like, oh, wow, yeah, that looks bad. Okay, let's keep going. Sometimes it seems counterintuitive that when somebody's suffering, you come in and say, well, let me tell you about my suffering. Because no, well, it's supposed to be about you, and this person is suffering here. So you don't want to come in and make it all about us, right? And that's kind of the instinct that we have. We just want to focus on your suffering and say, oh yeah, that feels terrible. Oh yeah, that looks bad. I can't believe that happened to you, right? But sometimes to share our own experiences, we're not trying to make it all about us, right? We're trying to say, hey, we're all human. We all go through this. You're not alone. What you're feeling has been felt before and is being felt now by a lot of people, So it allows us to then feel like we are part of a family, that we are literally all in this together. None of us is an island. We are not isolated. Okay. So the Chariot card in your environment, I feel like what you are doing is meant to serve something greater than yourself. This is a card of kind of a devotion, right? A loyalty, a commitment to something greater than you. It's kind of like a knight in a chariot is in service to the crown, to the the royalty of the realm, We're in service to a higher purpose. And so if we can take ourselves out of our current suffering, pain, right? And that's the thing here, that suffering is not necessary. Pain, of course, is going to happen. But we don't need to get stuck in this and really suffer it. So in some ways, we have to... Now, being in service to something higher, being devoted to a greater purpose, something outside of ourselves, it doesn't mean that we have to kind of shut up and stop crying, right? We still must feel what we're feeling. I feel this. Let me get to the bottom of this. Why do I feel this way? And what can I do about it? How can I learn and grow from this? And how can I continue moving forward? Because I am in service to something greater, I got to be as great as I can be too. I've got to live up to that. Whatever that is, whatever it's doing. If it's family for you, maybe, if it is your spirituality or your religion or something to which you are devoted to. You are trying to be the best that you can be because you are in service to something greater than you. Okay? And, well, here's that universe card, right? This is the vast universe. And sometimes we feel, with that universe card, sometimes we feel as if we are all alone. That we are up here pushing against the edge of the universe, at the very forefront of consciousness, at the very edge of reality, pushing against the boundaries, pushing against the limits of ourselves, right? Trying to expand our universe, our capabilities. And sometimes it's a lonely process. Sometimes we feel, we got the hermit, right? Sometimes we feel as if we are out here at the edge of the universe doing this work all by ourselves. The universe is a vast, lonely place, right? But it does not have to be. Okay? We are not alone in our pain or in our suffering. And sometimes connecting with other people is really the way, hearing other people's stories, not to diminish the seriousness of what we're going through, right? But for us to even find a source of healing through interaction with other people. The universe does not have to be a cold and lonely place. Okay? Now, the Fool and the Hermit are two very different energies. The Hermit obviously does not want to engage with anything. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. The Fool, on the other hand, gets the bumps and bruises and scrapes and cuts, bumps their nose, and just says, I'm okay, let's play. Let's keep going, you know. And it takes a minute for us to get out of the hermit mode, because the hermit mode, just feeling the pain and trying to get over it's not even necessarily the physical pain. It's not the bump on the nose. It's kind of the frustration of having let it happen. Do you know what I mean? It's not the pain itself. It's the how clumsy I was to bang my foot on the edge of the bed, you know? The pain is one thing. And you ever notice that? You ever notice when you bang your toe on something and you're jumping around saying, ow, 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 and you're getting all mad, but if you really stopped, it's like, oh, that didn't really even hurt. You ever done that? That's kind of a weird thing to notice, and I do that sometimes. I'll bang mainly my toes on the furniture and stuff. And I'll start getting all frustrated, and then I realize, okay, if I really feel it, it doesn't hurt that bad. Why am I getting so agitated? Well, it's the frustration of having done something kind of dumb, clumsy, you know? It's how could I have fallen forward and bumped my nose without putting my hands down? So really the pain is an emotional one more than a physical one. And I think we need to be able to identify where this feeling is coming from. Is it coming from something physical? Is it just something somebody said that sort of hit a nerve in me? Is it because I kind of feel clumsy, or if I kind of feel like a fool right now, you know? Sometimes it's the right and appropriate thing to just lean into it, you know? You do something clumsy, and instead of feeling embarrassed, we just kind of, we make a joke, we laugh about it. And it frees us from that emotional grip of that Five of Cups, right? Whatever the cause is here. This is a re-engaging. Now, it's kind of like somebody does something embarrassing and they just kind of storm off, and it's just like they never come back to the party, right? Never come back to work the next day. They don't show up anymore. Or it's the person that just kind of like is able to shake it off and just say, wow, that was dumb. I can't believe I did that, you know? Or we make a joke at our own expense or something to kind of lighten our own mood. But the idea here is to find a way to re-engage with that life, re-engage with this very important work that you're doing in service to this higher purpose. Even when something doesn't go our way, we experience some disappointment, a letdown, some sort of pain, whether it's physical or emotional or mental. And we free ourselves from it, and we're able to continue on. So I don't know what's going on in your life right now, but I know that you are working very hard on something in your life. And I think that there's something happening in your life at this time, and we could be really right in between hermit and fool. It's kind of like part of us just wants to go home because we're embarrassed or because it hurts too much or whatever. And there's that other part of us that knows, like, okay, I've got to just get back in the game. I got to shake it off. It's kind of in baseball, you know, they used to get, I don't know, I played Little League as a kid, and you'd get a little bruise, you get banged up a little bit, and the coach would say, okay, just walk it off. You know, we could sit down and I can sulk over it, and I can really identify and hold on to that feeling, which I did many times, still do. Or we could just kind of shake it off, wrap your finger up in a Band-Aid and get back to it. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card, okay? I want to see what could possibly tie all of this together here. Maybe it'll be a 10 of Pentacles, right? Maybe we see that, look, you know, it's going to be a difficult ride. Whenever we're trying to do something this major, there's going to be a lot of falling down, right? But I think all of that falling down is part of the path toward success. I want to see a card of success. I want to see a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see. You've got a King of Cups. This is a fixed water energy. Okay? This is basically saying that you are not giving up no matter what. You are not letting yourself sink into that water of emotions. Kind of like when a kid is trying their hardest not to cry, you know? And if they sort of, it takes a mental control. It takes a mental control just to not let it, just to let it flow. Sometimes we got to just let it flow, right? But we want to make sure that we maintain our focus, that we keep our commitment. that we stay devoted to whatever this work is. And yeah, maybe we're going to feel the pain, the tears are going to flow, we're going to get angry, we're going to go through all these emotions, but we're going to collect ourselves and we're going to get back to it. Okay? We are riding on top of the water there. We are not sinking down and getting consumed by that water energy. We are staying on the surface of it. We're feeling it. We're there. We're going to ride it out. We're not denying our emotions or suppressing them. We're giving them the space that they need, but we are not indulging in them unnecessarily and letting them consume us. Okay? So I like this. I think this is an important reading for you. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do a hexagram from the I Ching. We'll do some oracle cards. Click on the link in the corner. There's a link down below too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.